in the process, Moses was telling the Israelites what's about to happen. Amen. And most of all, he's telling the people, don't be afraid because you have defeated these kings. And he also told them to encourage Joshua because, as you know, because of Moses' disobedience, he wasn't allowed to enter the promised land. So Joshua was going to be the new leader, and he told them to encourage him, basically support him. Yes. And Moses then went and asked God about entering the promised land. And as we said before, the Lord don't go back on his promises. Yeah. He's just and he's a fair God. So he allowed Moses to go up to Pisgah Peak and look over the land which they were going to occupy. Kind of one of those things that he's going to show him that I'm not going back on my word, because if I go back on my word for you, I have to go back on my word for everybody else. Yeah. So he's not going to go back on his word. Yeah. And it's also a way of showing him, because of your disobedience, this is what you're missing out on.
Yes. I'm satisfied with that, brother. So just to touch on that a little bit, Deuteronomy, y'all understand, Deuteronomy basically means the second law. So what's happening is, remember, they were given the first law, right? These were the ones who did not enter into the promised land, the first generation of Israel, the ones he called out of Egypt because of disobedience. So Deuteronomy, what it means the second law, and what it's doing is it's getting that younger generation, like you were saying, ready to enter the promised land. So God is using Moses here to teach this younger generation all the ordinances and who God is, to teach the younger generation these things that were taught to this older generation who will not be making it in to the promised land. So if you want to start chapter 4, my brother.
Moses chapter 4. Moses urges the Israel to obey. And now, Israel, listen carefully to these decrees and regulations that I am about to teach you. Obey them so that you may live, so you may enter and occupy the land the Lord, the God of your ancestors, is giving you. So what he's saying is he's already been giving them instructions the whole time. Yeah. And now he's kind of reiterating that this is the promise that God has made. And in order for you to have this land, you have to abide by his laws and his rules. And it's just like with us